Welcome back, students. Today I'm going to start with the concluding part of lesson 13, insolation. The topic that we are going to discuss is factors affecting the distribution of temperature. The first factor that affects the distribution of temperature is latitude. Temperature decreases with increase in latitude on either side of the equator. This is due to the spherical shape of the Earth and its annual revolution around the Sun. Due to the spherical shape of the Earth and the Earth's inclined axis, the Sun's rays strike the Earth at varying angles of incidence. As you can see, in the areas near the equator, the Sun's rays are vertical, but as we go to higher latitudes, the Sun's rays are becoming slanting. Now, the vertical rays give out more heat than slanting or oblique rays. Now, let us understand why this happens. Coming to this diagram, vertical rays of the sun travel a shorter distance and cover a smaller area. As you can see, this is the smaller area. So the heating power is more. On the other hand, oblique or slanting rays, like you have over here, these not only travel a longer distance, but also cover a larger area. So they have less heating power. Therefore, the higher the latitude, the colder is the place. On this basis, the Earth is divided into 5 temperature zones. That is, the torrid zone, the north temperate zone, the south temperate zone, and the 2 frigid zones. The sun's rays, which fall over the torrid zone, that is between 23.5 degrees north and 23.5 degrees south, travel a shorter distance and heat up a smaller area. This leads to higher temperature. On the other hand, beyond the torrid zone, the sun's rays travel a longer distance and heat up a larger area. So, beyond the torrid zone, the temperature goes on falling. The next factor is altitude. The height of a place above mean sea level is known as altitude. Air is cooler at higher altitudes than on the Earth's surface. All of you must have noticed how when you go to hill stations during the summer season, they are much cooler than the plains. The main reason for decrease of temperature with height is that atmosphere is heated from below more by terrestrial radiation than by incoming solar radiation. As you have already seen in the previous video, the atmosphere absorbs 34 units of the Earth's radiation, whereas it absorbs only 14 units of the sun's incoming radiation. Moreover, air on the surface of the Earth is denser and contains more carbon dioxide, water vapor, and other gases. So, its heat absorption capacity is more in the lower layers than in the upper layers where its density is less. The rate of decrease of temperature with height is about 6 degrees Celsius per kilometer above the sea level. This means that on climbing every 166 meters, there is a fall of 1 degree Celsius in temperature. This is known as normal lapse rate. Next factor is distance from the sea. Land and water possess different properties. Land areas are heated quickly and cool down quickly. On the other hand, water is heated slowly and it requires more time for cooling. Now let us understand why. The sun's rays pass through water to a great depth. Water is mobile and the warm water mixes easily with the cold water. As a result, the water is neither heated nor cooled quickly. As you can see in this diagram, the radiation is penetrating to greater depths and there is mixing of warm and cold waters. So the water is neither heated nor cooled quickly. On the other hand, the sun's rays heat a piece of land more rapidly because, unlike water, the heat obtained by the area remains confined to that area and does not mix with the other areas of land. So the land gets heated or cooled more quickly than the water. So again, because land is solid, there is no penetration of solar radiation and there is no mixing. As a result, the land gets heated or cooled more quickly than the water. It is this differential rate of heating of land and sea that causes land breeze and sea breeze. Now let us understand what is meant by land breeze and sea breeze. Starting with the first diagram, during the daytime, the land gets warmed very quickly as compared to the adjoining sea, which is still cool. So the air which is in contact with the land also gets heated and rises up, and a low pressure zone is created here over the land. On the other hand, because the sea is still cool, the cool air over the sea becomes heavy and sinks down, creating a high pressure zone over here. Winds always blow from high pressure to low pressure. So as a result, sea breeze starts to blow from the sea towards the land. At night, the opposite happens. The land cools down very quickly while the sea is still warm. So the air over the sea also gets warmed up and rises up, creating a low pressure zone over the sea. Whereas because the land is cool, the cool air over the land sinks down and creates a high pressure zone over land. And again, winds blow from land to sea, that is from high pressure to low pressure, and these winds are called the land breezes. The slope of land influences the temperature of a place. For example, an area with a steep slope experiences a more rapid change in temperature than a gentle one. The effect of slope of land is more dominant in the temperate zone, where insolation is more oblique. In such regions, the slope of land becomes the crucial factor for the location of settlements, plantations, and other human activities. Now let us understand the effect of the slope of land with the help of this diagram. As you can see, this is a mountain in the northern hemisphere and this is a mountain in the southern hemisphere. In the northern hemisphere, the south-facing slopes of the mountains receive more insolation than the north-facing slopes. So the south-facing slopes will be warmer than the north-facing slopes. On the other hand, the opposite happens in the southern hemisphere, where the north-facing slopes will receive more sunlight and these slopes will be warmer as compared to the south-facing slopes of the mountains. The temperature decreases at the rate of 1 degree Celsius per 166 meters of altitude. This is called normal lapse rate. There are, however, some places where certain special conditions in the lower atmosphere produce a reversal of the normal lapse rate so that temperature actually increases with an increase in altitude. This is known as inversion of temperature. Now let us understand why this happens. The inversion of temperature happens on calm, cold winter nights when the sky is clear and the air is very dry. Due to these conditions, the heat from the Earth's surface escapes rapidly back into space, making the upper slopes warmer. The cold is further increased by the sinking of the cool air from the mountain sides. In this way, there is a reversal in the vertical distribution of temperature. So, the temperature decreases down in the valleys. This is known as inversion of temperature. The last factor that affects the distribution of temperature is winds and ocean currents. Winds also modify the temperature of a place where they blow. For example, a cold wind blowing over a certain area will lower the temperature of that area, whereas a warm wind blowing over a certain area will raise the temperature in that area. Similarly, ocean currents increase or decrease the temperature of the Earth's surface. So, the warm ocean currents along the coast make the coastal areas warmer, and cold currents make it cooler than usual. For example, the warm North Atlantic drift raises the winter temperature of northwestern part of Europe, especially that of the British Isles and Norway. Due to the influence of the warm North Atlantic drift, the port of Bergen, which lies over here, remains open during the extreme winter season, while the ports on the northeast coast of Canada, here, located in the same latitude, remain frozen for several months because of the influence of the cold Labrador current. I conclude my video here. Thank you and have a nice day.